Hey guys, it's Bethany. So if you've clicked on this video, you are either already a project panner or you're interested in starting a project pan and want some really kind of, helpful tips and tricks on how to be successful at that project pan. I've had a bunch of you guys request this video because I am definitely a big project panner. I love project panning. I've been doing it now for well over a year, almost maybe 2 years. And I started off, before doing project pan videos, I started doing monthly empties on my channel because I just loved empties. I loved using products and I just felt amazing every time I had a product that I had finished because I want to see the money that I spend go to use. So I started doing project panning and just loved it, started doing decluttering, loved it. And I just have loved this community. I have 4 pages of things that I've jotted down, and so I'm just going to go ahead and start with it and we'll just kind of see where this video goes. These tips are in no particular order, I just started writing. The first one is be realistic when picking your products. This is really going to be helpful for you, especially if you're new to it, because when you pick products, you want to make sure that they're ones that are really attainable for you to use up. If you are brand new to it, using up an entire eyeshadow, unless that's something that you use up fairly quickly, that would not be good for me, is going to be something that might be difficult and really challenging, especially for a first kind of project panner, and you might get fed up and then quit or think that this is just too hard. And so be realistic about the products that you choose is going to be number one, so that you can have a successful first project pan, or if you're kind of new to it and you're struggling with it, maybe making some more realistic choices about the products that you pick when doing that, and I'll get more into that. First, start small. Do something like a finish 4x4, I'm doing a finish 5 by fall right now. There are several like finish 6 by Christmas, so something that's a little bit on the smaller side. Doing a project 10 pan or a project 20 pan probably isn't going to be the best to first start off, especially if you're going to focus all on makeup. That's a lot, and it's very challenging to do that. I didn't do a project 20 pan until well over a year into me doing project panning, and as well as I'm doing an all MAC one right now, which is challenging because I have some eyeshadows, some bronzers, all kinds of stuff, and so it's hard. So you want to work up to those harder project pans. So doing something smaller is going to be really helpful when you're really kind of beginning this. If you're feeling gutsy and you're going to start with a project 10 pan, I suggest having a balance of products. Don't have all 10 makeup products because that's going to be really hard. Have like half makeup, half hair products, or half makeup, half beauty products. Throw in some body washes, some hairsprays, some face masks, things like that you would be using in addition to those makeup products, to have it be a little bit more balanced, because 10 makeup items is really challenging, especially depending on if you want to use the entire thing up or just hit pan. So I think having a good healthy mixture of products is going to be really great to also kind of get you in the speed of project panning. If you're really looking to be challenged and you do pick all makeup products, start with something that's going to be some full size, some deluxe size. I know that I've kind of looked at when I started picking out products for my project pans and had like 5 full size lipsticks, and I'm like, that's not going to happen. I'm just going to be kind of more irritated throughout the thing and frustrated throughout the thing. So maybe I'll have 2 full size and 2 of like the deluxe little mini sizes. That's going to still be using products up in your collection, and you're still going to be getting through products and still, a fantastic, success. And it's going to be a little bit more realistic than having all full-size products. So we all have those deluxe sizes that we get in our, subscription boxes or value sets and things like that. So maybe add a few of those so that you can really enjoy using those products up in addition to the full-size products. And I think it will be really helpful doing that. Start with products that you really enjoy using, because you're going to be wearing them a lot. So if you have an eyeliner that you absolutely hate, don't pick that one. And you probably should just give it away anyway, but don't pick those products, especially when you really start getting into project panning. Like right now I have a lip liner from MAC that I'm really struggling with, but now I'm getting to the point where I can find different uses for it, and it's not getting frustrating for me. Whereas if I had done that like the very first time I did a project pan, I probably would have been like, oh, this is too hard, I'm giving up. So definitely use products that you enjoy. So if you have like a favorite lipstick that you have 3 backups of, of, maybe pick that one. Or if you have a neutral eyeshadow that you absolutely adore and you love wearing every day, but you would love to use it up, pick that. So use products in your project pan, especially when you're first starting, that you know that you're going to enjoy using over and over and over again, because that's what you have to do to use the products up. On the same line of that, when you're using products every single day, you want to take a break from it. That's going to really help. I have my weekly makeup basket to help balance me out, because if I was using only my project pans, I would just feel totally uninspired. I'd feel frustrated, and I'd feel like I was really wasting a lot of the makeup in my collection, because I do have a fairly large collection. And so having those weekly makeup baskets to add, other blushes and other eyeshadows for me to kind of use every other day in mixture with my project pan items really helps keep me not in a rut, because that's the least thing that you want to happen, is that you stop enjoying your makeup. The next point is something that I get asked a lot. So do you have to go on a shopping freeze? Do you have to go on a low buy? Can you just start using your collection? I think that this is something that is totally up to you. I think that project pans were originally created where you didn't buy any more products until you used those products. And so, you had the project 10 pan, you couldn't buy any other makeup or, beauty or whatever until you use those 10 products. I think that you can be flexible. Do what's going to be best for you. If you know that you can't go 6 months without buying any makeup and you're gonna just be frustrated the whole time, don't do that. Go on a low buy. I was buying a ton, and so that's why I wanted to really limit my shopping and go on a freeze for 6 months, when I first started, because I was getting crazy. I was shopping way too much and I was hauling way too much. And so it was important for me to have that challenge of not buying any makeup until I used those things, and then I treated myself. Or you can go on a low buy. Like, that's what I've been on now, because now I have gotten in the pattern where I'm not buying so much, because I've kind of like trained myself now where I can buy a couple things every once in a while and still kind of get that urge fixed of wanting to purchase things. It's up to you if you want to just completely just go with what you are normally doing with your shopping and just add in products that you'd like to use up, so you know that you're using up products as you're bringing more products in. If you want to go on low buy, like you only buy one thing a month or something like that, or if you go on a complete shopping freeze, whatever is going to be best for you, do that. Another tip that I have found really helpful when I've been doing project pans is not starting with all brand new makeup. So I'm incorporating products that, like, maybe I've already hit pan on, or like it's an eyeshadow, I've already hit pan on it, I want to use the whole thing up, or I want to use the other half of my lipstick that I have, so I've used half of it, I want to use the other half of it. So, and then I'll have products in there that I haven't touched. So having a balance of that, so that you can see your progress happening a little bit quicker than if you started with an all brand new project pan, because then it's going to take a long time before you really see things being, further down the line of usage. So using something that's halfway done, or you have a really good dent in it and you want to hit pan on it, or have a lip gloss that you've already been using it for weeks, and so that you can see that it's slimming down. So don't have all new brand new products. That's going to be really difficult, number one, and number two, just motivational wise, when you start seeing products and you put products aside that you've finished, it's awesome. Next, add in motivational products. So by that I mean products that you're really good at using up. So for me, that's lip glosses and lipsticks, because I am constantly reapplying them and I just can whip through them fairly quickly. Other people, it might be eyeshadows, where they have, they're always blending like crazy, and so they use a lot of products, whatever it is, cream products, who knows, whatever your kind of thing is that you're like, I know that I can use up this product really quickly, add those into all of your project pans, because those are going to be things that kind of help you keep motivated, because when you use up that product, you're going to be like, awesome. And so it kind of helps to give you that perk up of like, I am using products, because you know that you are, because you can see it physically with your own eyes. Hitting pan is ideal. You don't have to use the whole product though. So I think sometimes, especially with like eyeshadows or blushes, we think that we have to use the entire product, and you don't. If you want to, awesome. But I usually preface all of my project pans with like, okay, my goal is to hit pan, or my goal is to finish half of it, or my goal is to finish the entire thing. Kind of map out again how realistic it is going to be for you to hit pan, or to use the entire thing, or to use a quarter of it. Whatever is going to work for you is going to be perfect. You know, don't compare if someone else is using the entire lipstick and you can only use half of it. That's fine. Do whatever you want to do that's going to be helpful in your experience with these project pans. This next tip is something that I really struggled with, especially at the beginning, is thinking that I had to finish everything, or I had to, you know, hit my goal for everything, and that I couldn't be done until that was done. So that's something that really I have checked myself with, because it was too much pressure. You know, so like right now I have a MAC cream blush slash lipstick, and it's basically impossible, and I know I'm not gonna do my goal, and I have been balancing, do I just want to put something else in there now, or do I even want to see how far I get on it, because it's just not going to be realistic for me. So that's perfectly fine. You don't have to finish everything. You can roll products into another project pan. Say you're done with 8 products, but 2 of them you just can't get to, and so you want to add it into your next project 10 pan. Take a little bit of a break, add it in next time. That's great. Or say you're using a product because now you're using it every single day, and you're like, I really don't like this lipstick. Okay, get rid of it. Pass it off to a friend or a family member. I'm sure they'll love it. You don't have to keep all the products. You know, when you get further along, like me with that MAC lip liner that I talked about, I'm like pushing myself to finish it just because it's my own thing that I want to push myself. But there's been plenty of times where I've had something in there and I've taken it out. So don't think that you have to. You can always replace items in there. That's no big deal. You're not failing at it. You're doing fantastic. If anything, it's better because you're going to enjoy the process so much better, believe me. So don't feel like you have to finish everything. Don't feel like you have to finish in that specific project pan, and don't feel like you have to keep all of those items, or you know, in the project pan or in general. I was thinking about this one and about deadlines. So a lot of the project pan tags that are out now, which are awesome, have kind of like a deadline. So it's like finish 5 by fall, so you have till the end of fall to finish it up, or finish 4 by 4th of July, so you have 4th of July to finish up, and which is fantastic. And usually those have smaller products, so it's a little bit more realistic to hit those dates. But sometimes, especially when you're first starting, it's best not to have any kind of deadline of just starting a project 10 pan, and whenever you finish, you finish. You don't feel like you have to hit it by a certain day and feel pressured by that or stressed out because other people are way farther along and you're not, or whatever. So sometimes it's easier to start off where you don't have any deadlines, you don't have anything that you feel like you have to meet, and it can be more flexible, and you can just kind of enjoy the process of it, incorporating other products in there so you're not using the same thing every day, and just kind of enjoying it. So I would suggest that for sure. A big tip that will save you in project pans is multitasking your products. So for instance, I am doing Pan That palette, and I had a few eyeshadows that I just like could not use. They were way too powdery, way too glittery, and so I made a nail polish out of one, and I made a body shimmer out of the other one. So I'm still using those products, but not in, you know, the traditional way. Or if you have a lipstick, use it as a blush. Or if you have a bronzer, use it as an eyeshadow, or vice versa. If you have a blush, use it as an eyeshadow. So multitask your products. That's going to be really helpful at getting you to use them more and just being more creative with your products, and so it'll make things a little less monotonous. You're kind of doing the same thing over and over again. You kind of spice it up a little bit by multitasking. Start with color families that are going to, again, be more realistic and more wearable for you. So if you have a turquoise eyeshadow like the one I have on my lash line, probably not going to be the best thing unless you love wearing turquoise every single day. So maybe something that's going to be more on the neutral side of things is going to be a little bit better for you to start with. Or maybe you have a bright orange lipstick that you love, but you only wear it on certain occasions. Probably not going to be the best thing for you to add into your project pan, where you're probably going to be wearing it every single day. So picking something that's like more of a nude or a light pink, or you know, whatever color you love, that you are cool with wearing almost every single day. Those are going to be the families that you want to kind of pick from. Get a part of the project pan community. This is a big one. This is going to be so helpful for you because it's really motivating. I know that when I first started project panning, I didn't really know any other project panners, and it was not as hot, or at least I hadn't gotten into the community yet that it is now, and so it was a little hard, and I kind of felt a little bit of alone, and so it was harder to kind of keep motivated. And now the project pan community is huge, what I'm so excited about, and so we're subscribing to each other, we're commenting each other and giving each other those high fives and hey, you're doing fantastic, holy smokes, I can't believe you already finished that blush, you know, liking each other's videos, and just really being a part of each other's challenges. And just making friends on YouTube anyway is also such a fun thing, but kind of getting part of a community that really is close-knit like the Project Pan community is so much fun. So definitely suggest that if you make videos, or if you have an Instagram and you post videos, or even just through the comments, of really getting to know other project panners and rooting each other on, because that will be so helpful. Because there will be so many times where I'm like, oh my god, there's no way I'm going to use this product, and then one of my comments has a suggestion on how to use that product, and it totally changes things up, and so helpful. Love that. That's probably one of the biggest tips, is really get a part of this community, because it is awesome. Awesome, awesome. Another thing is have fun with it. I find project panning so rewarding. I love it. I love seeing my collection being used. I think it's a blast. I love using products. Hitting pan is like such the best feeling ever. It totally gives me a high. If you start doing a project pan and you're just not feeling it, and you're like, I love watching the videos, but I hate doing the project pans, don't do them anymore. I don't want for anyone to do these kind of project pan videos and then end up not enjoying project panning anymore, or not enjoying their makeup anymore, because it is hard. It's a challenge to really push yourself into using products all the time. And so if you start it and you don't love it, just quit while you're ahead. Just quit while you're ahead. There's nothing wrong with it. Maybe you need to give yourself a little break, use some of these tips maybe, and start it later on. So definitely make sure you're having fun with it. It's definitely gonna be challenging, so don't let that kind of stop you, but as long as you're having fun and you're part of the community and you're enjoying it, then that's fantastic. Just keep that in mind. You always want to have fun, because it's kind of stressful, it's tedious, and we don't want you to be stressed out and not enjoy it. So treat yourself in between project pans. This has been really helpful for me, to, you know, have a project pan completely done and then go buy one of those lipsticks that I've been really eyeing from Sephora, or have a project pan done and do a little, you know, Ulta haul or ColourPop haul or something like that. So it's really fun to treat yourself, even if it's not to treating yourself with more makeup. You know, treat yourself to like a nice dinner, or take yourself to a movie. I don't know, do something to treat yourself, because it's a huge accomplishment to finish up one of these project pans. So make sure that you let yourself enjoy that accomplishment, because it is great. Be realistic about timing of your project pans. So if you're gonna do a shopping freeze, probably not going to be really realistic, especially if you're anyone like me, to do it right during one of the VIB sales, or during when all of the holiday sets are coming out and all the holiday collections are coming out. I know I couldn't do it, so I don't do any of my shopping freezes around that time. I might do a low buy, but even that is probably a little too unrealistic for me. So definitely time it out. If you know that MAC is having a collection that's coming out that you want everything from it, don't start a shopping freeze right before that. Or just being kind to yourself on if you set out expectations that you weren't going to buy anything and then you end up buying 5 things from MAC, not to beat yourself up. You're human. It's totally cool. We've all done it. Believe me. We've all done project pans where we've done shopping freezes and we've slipped up and bought things. At least I have. I know that I'm guilty of that many a time. So be kind to yourself. Don't compare yourself to others, especially with their progress. I know that that was a little tricky for me when I first started the Pan That palette, because there's so many people who are fantastic at using their eyeshadows, and I am definitely not one of those people. It's really challenging for me. So not comparing yourself to them. Add more challenging products as you get more into project pans. So say you really want to use up a bronzer, but you know that's going to be really tough for you. Maybe on your third project pan, throw in one of the deluxe size bronzers to kind of get your feet wet. So, you know, as you get more into it, definitely start challenging yourself. That's going to be really fun. But at the very beginning, try to keep yourself to things that you know you're going to kind of keep your momentum up. So add those challenging things as you continue. Pick products that you can reapply a lot throughout the day. That will help a lot. Things like foundations and stuff, you will use those up fairly quickly because you're using up a good amount of product each time you do it. But something like an eyeliner where, you know, you're typically only putting eyeliner on at the beginning of the day and not reapplying, it's a little bit harder, it's a little bit trickier. Whereas things like lipsticks and lip glosses, you can reapply those suckers all day, every day. Last but not least, at least for right now, mark your progress. This is going to be something that's really helpful. When I first started, I didn't do that, and I noticed a huge shift when I started doing that because it felt awesome to be able to look at that lip gloss every single day and see that mark there that I know I've gone significantly, you know, I've used significantly more that week. So it's really cool to be able to see your progress every time and not just seeing it every time you do a video or post a picture. So having a Sharpie there, I've gotten some really awesome comments about using like nail polish to be able to mark your progress because it doesn't come off, using tape over the Sharpie marks so that it doesn't wear off, or just having like a Sharpie with you in your purse so you can kind of retouch those markings if they do go away, which they will, for sure, they will. So definitely that's going to be really helpful. If you don't do videos, that's fine. At least take pictures of it or do that, you know, marking there so you can see where you're at and you can see those before and after pictures. It's like when you're trying to lose weight and you take before and after pictures. It's so much fun looking at all of the products before and then after when you've completely used them. It's really great. All right, so now I need a lozenge from all of that talking. I hope that was helpful, that you are getting in the swing of things, and if you have any other questions, if something I missed out and you have a specific question about project panning, definitely comment down below and I'll get back to you because there's probably many things that I'm forgetting, but I think that's a pretty good starter for a bunch of tips and tricks.